it's about that time. I got tagging this with today, and it says, who made the dumbest decision on this list? Last up on this list has got to be Squidward stealing someone's wallet to learn their name. Because, bro, it has never been this serious to learn somebody's name, but there are far worse on this list. Next one on this list is definitely Thugnificent starting beef with Sergeant Cutter. Like, bro, you're already going broke and you're struggling. Damn sure not a smart idea to poke the beast that's killing you. Next up is Mordecai getting in front of Muscle Man's wedding to talk about his relationship problem. Bro, please, time and place, and this is not it. He even basically broke up with CJ in the middle of it. You can't get more awkward than this. Next up is Eddie definitely getting scammed. Because how are you, someone who scams people every single day, gonna fall for a fake money tree? Then give up all your worldly possessions just to get a seed to grow one. Double D destroyed that dream in less than 30 seconds. How could he fall for this? Yeah, Peter making at-home Red Bull with gasoline. You wouldn't think it gets dumber than this, but number one is definitely Stan doing surgery on Haley's face just because he doesn't want to admit that he did something wrong. Permanently disfiguring his daughter just because he messed up a painting. This has to be the dumbest. Well, folks, it's about that time. I got tagged in this one today, and it says, what is the worst thing Stewie Griffin has done here? Stewie murking Lois, then him subsequently taking over the world after is definitely last on this list because neither one of these events actually happened. It was all just a simulation. It was basically him playing the video game. Next up is Stewie wrecking Brian's car because this wasn't evil, it was an accident. Then he was very sorry about it and Brian let it go. Stewie impregnating himself with Brian's DNA is definitely up there, but it's far from the worst. Stewie murking new Brian over him humping Rupert is one of the worst things he's definitely done. For me, him catching a body is just casual Stewie shit. You can also definitely say that him creating an evil clone of himself is definitely up there. And while the clone was crazy as hell, it mainly backfired on him. And it really didn't do much other than murking one person and trying to kill Brian and Stewie. This was hard because where's my money is crazy. But what Stewie did to his therapist is just straight up dark. Not only does he demean this man's vocation while also picking apart every aspect of his life and relationship, even though this man helps Stewie discover who he truly is, he watches this man die so nobody else will find out. And all he could say was, "Sawi, this is definitely the worst." Well, folks, it's about that time. And looking back on Kids Next Door, I can't help but to think about how gross this show used to be. And this was like over the top gross, where they had like episodes where you would have chicken pox and they'd be actual chickens in your face. Or there's like the bully episode where this one guy was trying to give somebody a wet willy. I don't even want to show how crucial this wet willy was because it's that gross. How do you make using an instrument look like the most disgusting thing ever? I remember there was like one episode where the delightful children was just saving their toenails for absolutely no reason. And of course, because they made that a thing, it has to break and get all over everybody. And boy, if there's one thing this show will double down on, it's boogers and snot. I forgot they have a whole villain called a Common Cold who takes his mucus and phlegm and shoots it at you as a weapon. Boy, look at this shit that's coming out of this gun. Boy, if that hit me, you gotta die. Boy, they be taking these shots to the face. Then he would capture them and bathe them in it. Oh nah. Boy, the crumble episode took the goddamn cake. Because apparently the school nurse was using kids' pink eye as crumble crust. And as a weapon to give more kids pink eye. Yeah, this show was a bit too much. Well, folks, it's about that time, and Marvel Rivals desperately needs to add more tanks to the game, so here are my picks. There are a lot of Superman-like powerhouses in Marvel, so I offer you Hyperion. Either version of him is good. I give you the man with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns the Sentry. He could also have a transformation into his dark form. Could never have too many X-Men, so you can definitely add armor. He just started a vampire event that involves the multiverse. Why not add a multiversal vampire like Morlun? Mind you, Spider-Man has said that this guy hits harder than Thor and Hulk. I'm just saying. While we're on Spider-Man villains, why not Doc Ock? There's a lot of Hydra influence here, and he's worked for them. I'm gonna always push the Juggernaut agenda. If we can't get him, the Rhino's the next best choice. Here's a wild card. Put in the Shadow King, because not only is he a multiversal threat, but in one of these universes, he's Storm's former lover. Easy tank pick, the Lizard, and give him his giant form. Rogue, because she's basically another Superman-like character. Give me Annihilus and the Annihilation Wave as his ult. Give me Onslaught for sure. A tough pick for this game would be Blackheart, and of course Apocalypse or Gladiator, but what do you guys think? Well, folks, it's about that time, and after rewatching Shrek, this story tries its hardest to make Shrek look like he's mean and jaded towards society, but he was never wrong about his opinion. Shrek tells you consistently that he has no faith in society because they view him as a big, dumb, ugly monster. He plays into these dark stereotypes in this narrative because if he didn't, they just kill him. Which is why he'd rather not engage with society at all, because fairy tale creatures are considered ugly in general. Which is why they're hunted and sold off by normal people. I mean, the moment he stepped into Dulot, Farquaad ordered his death as a challenge. Which is why I find it so crazy that they're trying to depict Shrek as the problem here because he don't want to meet Fiona's parents in Shrek 2. He has to remind her, did you forget that these are the same people who locked you in a tower most of your life because they considered you ugly? She's like, but they're my parents who love me. So do they? Then he has to sit through the blatant prejudice of her father towards ogres. When he matches energy with this jackass, he's the problem? Then Fiona really gonna take her dad's side, then call Shrek an ogre? Well, they were making me sick with how they were treating this man in this movie. Shrek deserves so much better. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagged in this one today, and it says, which one of these adaptations of Mr. Freeze is the best here? Last on this list is definitely the Young Justice version of Mr. Freeze. This guy doesn't feel like Mr. Freeze at all. This guy was like in 2 episodes max, and he was a pawn for other villains. In this show, he might as well be another thug with ice powers. While the Arkham Batman's version of Mr. Freeze is definitely on point when it comes down to his mannerisms and who he is as a person. While I did feel sad for him at times, this version of Mr. Freeze wasn't one of my favorites. For me, he didn't do too much to leave a lasting impression on me. It's more like, oh yeah, it's boss fight time. Next up is the Batman's Mr. Freeze, and while this is the dopest dopest design possible for him. Definitely one of the most powerful versions of this character we've seen so far. This man is sauced out to the fullest. Cool as he may be, he might as well be the furthest thing from Mr. Freeze's character possible. My man said, wife, I ain't doing this for my wife. I was a crook and you hoed me. Now I want my get back. I didn't watch the original animated series version of Mr. Freeze. When he showed up in Batman Beyond, this man had the most aura possible, and his story was tragic and accurate. You couldn't help but to feel for this Freeze. This is the one. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagged in this one today. It says, if these 4 characters were in Marvel Rivals, what would their roles be and what would their abilities be? Bullseye, no question, would definitely be a duelist. I can see him having an ability to where he would be able to see around walls, then throw an object, and it would be able to ricochet and still hit somebody. While his primary attack would be throwing playing cards. Another one of his abilities would be a scattershot shuriken throw. His other ability is to be able to throw a paper plane, and if he gets a headshot, it's an instant kill. His ultimate would be the 100-meter toothpick throw. Think of like McCree's ultimate that could kill the entire team. Stereo would definitely be a strategist. I think it would be cool for him to project himself directly in front of your line of sight so you can't see who you're aiming at. His illusions could mix up the team, so if you would see Black Widow, it's really Thor. Of course, he would also be able to fly and fire off energy blast. Of course, his ultimate would be a huge projection of himself that blinds everyone. Absorbing Man, definite Vanguard. He would be able to use other people's abilities that he's absorbed, then use it against them. His ultimate could be he could become the map. Blackheart would be a Vanguard that would ensnare people, be able to tear your soul out, would have dark magic to make himself stronger. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagged in this one today, and it says, who here is the biggest homewrecker between these two, Black Cat or Namor? I don't even think it's right to call Felicia a homewrecker because of the fact that most of the time when he was with her, he wasn't with Mary Jane. Then their dynamic was consensual and the feelings were mutual. These two had a genuine relationship that they both cherished. On top of all of that, Felicia and MJ have a good friendship and mutual respect for each other. So much so that they recently started fighting crime together. Difference with Namor is a menace when it comes down to Sue Storm. Namor saw Sue one time and was like, oh nah, she's mine. First chance he got, he kidnapped her and drug her into the ocean. He told her, either you stay down here and marry me willingly or I'm going to destroy the surface world. You got 24 hours to decide. This man has been on her like this for years. Any chance he get, he's trying to claim her. She will full on reject this man and tell him I am married with kids, and he will say I don't give a damn. This harassment continues as they get older. Even in alternate universes, he's still hitting on her and getting rejected. He's even gone so far as to force her to give him a kiss to save the world. It's definitely Namor. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagged in this one today, and it says, who wins this free-for-all? The Cosmic Armor Superman, Batman Who Laughs, World Breaker Hulk, or Cosmic Spider-Man? I'm not even gonna sugarcoat this because of the fact that you put Cosmic Armor Superman in this. He immediately wins. Those of you who don't know, this is the Cosmic Armor Superman, otherwise known as the Thought Robot. The Thought Robot was created by the Monitors to take on the evil Mandrak. This Superman can virtually do anything. He has reality warping, time manipulation, hell, plot manipulation. Thought Robot is so powerful, the only other being that could possibly match his power is the person known as God in the DC universe, known as the Presence. The Thought Robot is so aware of everything, he can hear the reader breathing as they turn the comic book page, also being able to directly affect everything that's going on within the story and the narrative itself. He's so powerful that he can just become stronger than any situation he's in. This is important because Mandrak had the power of virtually the editor. He was fighting someone who was actively changing the narrative around him. Because with this version of Superman, scale and size means nothing. He can overcome everything. So I definitely say he wins. But folks, it's about that time. The absolute Giga Chad Lunar Axel wants to know, what are my thoughts on Paladins? Now, I'm glad you brought this up because I'm gonna be straight up with you. I do not like this game. I find this game mind-numbingly generic and boring. I wouldn't even say I have hatred for it because that requires me to care about it. Over the years, I absolutely despise most games that have such cool character designs and then have us in first-person shooter mode. Then when you do have games where they're in third-person mode, their combat is either simple or unsatisfying or it's just slow. Which is why Marvel Rivals is such a breath of fresh air to me because I actually feel like a superhero while playing it. Take into account, you have some really cool character designs like Bomb King, or this big-ass turtle like Makoa, or I could play Groot's angry cousin Grover. Just for them to look cool and all I'm staring at is a gun. Nothing against anybody who likes this, but I'd rather just play Overwatch when it comes down to it. A buddy of mine in college was obsessed with this game, and he showed me it one time, and I was like, yo, Ruckus is just diva. If you like this game, good on you, because it does have some cool things in it. It's just not for me. Personally, not with this shit, but if you like it, kudos. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagged in this one today, and it says, if they switch rogue galleries, who would have a harder time? Mordecai and Rigby or Spider-Man? Crazy enough, I believe that Spider-Man would struggle. Going up against their enemies would be hard for Peter because of the fact that he doesn't really have a life outside of work and being Spider-Man. Peter thought that video games were a waste of time because he grew up only just liking science. It wasn't until he played games with his neighbor to where he found the appeal, and even then he's not good at them because he doesn't have time to play them. He'd more than likely lose to GBF. I don't believe that he would make it to the last level to find out how to even defeat the Hammer. He wouldn't be an expert at video games, so he would lose to Burt Coleman too. Peter doesn't listen to current music like that. Most of his favorite artists are from the 1960s. It means he would lose to Summertime Lovin' because he wouldn't know music to defeat him. I doubt Peter could win this staring contest or bowl better than people with magic. Most of Spider-Man's rogues wouldn't be able to handle the fist of justice since they're made to fight deities, and getting hit with Death Kwon Do means instant death. Then they still have the power keyboard that can basically do anything that Mordecai and Rigby would clear. Well, folks, it's about that time, and I got tagging this one today, and it says it's a caveman free-for-all, so who wins in a fight? Spear, Grug, Fred, or Pickle? Before on this channel, we've already established that Grug is strong, but he is not smart whatsoever. And we've also taken into account that he is not a fighter by any means. And as much as I've looked, Fred Flintstone has no hands. I definitely don't believe that either one of these guys bring anything to this fight other than being victimized by the other two. Spear is a formidable caveman who's highly skilled and intelligent. He's gone straight up toe-to-toe and won against some of the scariest things his universe has to offer, which of course means zombie dinosaurs, humongous dinosaurs and animals, supernatural witches, has fought in wars before. But none of them have ever met a creature like Pickle who can match Yujiro Hanma in strength. You know, the same guy who once faced a titanic elephant this size and he beat it to death with his bare hands while also being strong enough to stop earthquakes with a punch. If Spear would run or devise a plan to try and take down one of these dinosaurs, Pickle would just straight up wrestle it to the ground and kill it. Pickle once got hit with an attack faster than Mach speed. He took a 40-second nap off of it. Spear is still just a man with limits. Pickle eats them alive.